Welcome to Healy Fit with your instructor, Jen. Today I have an intermediate Pilates practice for you, which will only utilize your mat. So once you are ready, go ahead, grab a mat, and let's find a great space to settle into. Once you've unrolled your mat, let's come on down. And we're going to start all the way at the bottom. Tuck your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins or around your thighs and just enjoy that low back stretch for a moment. Then we're going to bring the left foot to the floor. Keep the right knee tucked in. Hands behind the head, head stays on the floor. Extend that right leg out and in. Good. Anchor the belly in and down as you extend the leg out and in, trying to maintain core control. So remember, this is your warm-up, but if you feel so inclined, you are welcome to bring your head up from the floor, so long as you promise to keep your head pushed into your hands and length along the throat. Good. Continue to extend out and in. You've got two more. One, and rest. Let's do that same sequence on the other side. Wrap your hands around your left leg now. One hand below the knee, one hand above the ankle. As you release your hands back behind the head, go ahead, extend that left leg out and in. So just like you're going into your single leg stretch with a straight leg. This easier option with head on the mat allows you to reduce strain on your neck. So continue to enjoy that out and in, anchoring the belly in and down, trying to push the low back towards the floor as you extend the leg out and in. We're almost there. And let's tuck both knees in towards us, both hands around the knees. And now both out and in. Now we might not reach as low. You can bring them up high, or you can bring them down to about that 45-degree angle, anchoring the stomach in and down. So pull the belly button in towards the spine. Exhale as you draw the knees in. Inhale as you reach them out. Good. Pointing the toes all the way to the other side of the room. So this move is your double leg stretch with bent knee. So that's exactly what we want to feel, that stretch in the legs from the toes to the hips. Awesome. Let's bring the left foot to the floor, tuck that right knee back in once again, and circle through the right hip. Good. Check in with your hip as you go into your circles. Maybe going a little bit further, changing range of motion, and then changing direction. Awesome. As you bring it in, left leg can stay tucked in or elongated along the mat. We're going to circle that right leg around. Now, same as your knee circles, these straight leg circles, working into the hip, maybe as we warm up, we can increase our range of motion lightly. Go ahead, kind of playing around, maybe going a little bit faster on the downward slope, a little bit faster on the upward lift. Bring it around the other direction. Let's go 7, and lift, out to the side, and up. 5, 4, 3, good, keeping our core braced. 2, abs locked in. 1, and stretch. Good, hands behind the back of the leg. Let's extend the left leg out and in. Good, so feeling the stretch along the right as we extend the left leg out and in. Good, now your leg may go out towards the sky, down to that 45, or down all the way towards your mat. So it's just kind of hovering above the floor. Range of motion is up to you. Awesome. Let's bring that right foot to the floor, tuck the left knee in, and go into our knee circles now on this left side. Good. This is a great opportunity for you to check in with your hip before you go into the range of motion with your straight leg. Change direction if you haven't already. And then hands come back behind the head, leg lifts up, and we circle around. Good. Again, that right leg can be bent or we can have it straight along the mat, whatever anchors you better. Good. Now the left leg, as we bring it over, we're kind of crossing a little bit over the edge of the right thigh. Good. So we feel a little bit of inner thigh interaction, and then outer thigh and glute as we sweep the leg out and in. Good. Changing direction, out to the side, down to the floor, in and up. Let's do a few more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Go ahead and lift that left leg all the way up, one hand behind the calf, one hand behind the thigh, and we bring that knee in and out on the other side. Now, I've had people before ask me which one goes on the top, which one goes on the bottom. It's not really as big of a deal, but you can see with that right hand up, tucking the right knee in was a little bit easier. If you bring the right knee down, then you have, or the right hand down, then you have that stopping point. Awesome. Now your head can be up or down if you need that release for the neck. Let's go into a straight leg stretch. Good. Again, head can be up or down, but the abs have to stay anchored in and down, whichever one you choose. So draw your rib cage towards your hips, anchor your belly down and in towards the mat, and see how much length you can get along the back of the knee, up through the calf, through the bottom of the foot, out to the toes. And recover. Good. Both knees in towards you. Circle both knees around the ceiling here. Awesome. And then let's take both knees around in the other direction. Fantastic. Hands behind the head. Both legs extended up to the sky. Let's sweep both legs down, around, and up together. So just like a pencil, we're changing direction with each circle that we make. We are tracing the ceiling, kind of making a circle all the way down to the top, and then we change direction all the way down to the top the other way. Good. Core stays braced so we can keep our trunk kind of anchored in and down towards the mat as those legs sweep around. And then we play with our range of motion with each circle. Try to keep the heels glued together. Try to pull the backs of the upper inner thighs in and up. Go ahead, engage your pelvic floor. You are almost there. Awesome. Now let's bring the head up and lower the legs down and up. Keep the chin lifted from the chest, lifting your eyes kind of up towards the toes. Head is pushed back into the hands. And with your double leg stretch with straight leg, of course, you could bring the head down towards the mat if you want a little bit less intensity. So whatever you need today is probably the perfect option for you. All right, let's reach our hands down towards our thighs and go into our hundreds. Now for your hundreds, you could bring your feet back down to the floor. You could lift your legs all the way up, kind of more into a straight leg posture like I have. You can go down into that 45-degree angle or lower your legs all the way down towards the mat. We're inhaling like a staccato, so inhale in and out. 3 more. 2. 1 more deep breath in and out. Awesome. Tuck your knees in towards you. Rest, recover, circle the knees, little sacral massage before we move ourselves along. So next up, arms out into a T. Knees into reverse tabletop. We're going to drop them down to our left side as much range of motion as you can, knees back, center, and then drop them down to the right. Now, the challenge is going to be as you drop the knees to the left, you want to keep your right shoulder down. As you drop the knees to the right, you want to keep your left shoulder down. So we're trying to keep the upper body kind of anchored into the mat as we move along the thoracic. So this is that mid-back range of motion, really tying into the obliques and back muscles as we drop the legs side to side. Oh, I've warned you before about that wicked smile. So whenever I smile, that usually means we're going to up the intensity. So if you like, instead of bent knees, you can go for straight legs, trying to kind of tap into your range of motion, going a little bit further with each rep. Dropping the legs side to side, kind of like a metronome or the ticking of a clock side to side. Good. Maybe more like windshield wipers. There we go. Awesome. Awesome. We made it. Let's roll onto one side. From here, your bottom hand is going to cradle your head. You're going to line up along the back edge of the mat. Top hand in front of the abs, reminding you to pull them in, and we're just going to lift the heels up and down. Now you could have your toes flexed or pointed, whatever feels right for you. When I first started doing Pilates, I will tell you that toes pointed was kind of a cramping foot issue for me. So if you're feeling that same way and you are kind of in your Pilates practice, you are welcome to relax the foot or flex it a little bit towards you, or maybe alternate as you move along. All right, we're feeling that in our love muffins right there, that top of the hip line. Bring your feet up and hold them going into your clamshell. Now we want to bring that top leg up as high as we can and then squeeze it down towards the bottom leg. We're using abductors and adductors. So opening up, squeezing the outer thigh and glute, and then squeezing the knees back shut. God, like we're pulling the weight from the sky down to that bottom knee. Go ahead, continue to open and squeeze. So well. We're doing two more. And now into a frog kick. So you're going to roll onto the meaty part of the glutes, knees into that clamshell position, and then you're just keeping the heels glued together as you kick the legs out into that kind of low V position. Good, almost there, almost there. This is where that intensity is really starting to push that maximum level. Awesome. This next one, bottom arm reaches out, top arm reaches up. We're going to roll a little bit. And then as you turn, you're going to lift up into your side V sit. All right, roll and then come up into your side V sit. Okay, now again, you can play around with range of motion. And you can keep that bottom elbow down, or you can lift it off of the mat as you come around to the side. So see what works best for you and your level and your experience. Good. Keep those abs tucked in. Reach, 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 and rise up. Good. Now, knees bent is another viable option if you're feeling like, you know what, I don't know how many more of these I can do. Guess what? We finished. Sweep the legs to the other side. We want to stretch before we move along. Oh, yeah, that really got into those outer obliques, into our love muffins, that top of hip line. Awesome. Let's do that same sequence on this side. So we're going to start with those heel raises. Bottom hand cradles the head, heels lift up and down. Now, another option, if this is uncomfortable for your wrist, your bottom arm could just relax down to the floor like we did for those rolling V-sits. Keep those abs tucked in. Go ahead, starting to feel it into the top of the hip line. Good, let's do one more up, hold, and come into your clamshell. Good, again, that top knee opening out, 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 really squeezing towards the wall behind you, and then pulling towards your bottom knee. Good, open, squeeze. Open and squeeze. Really great movement for the inner and outer thigh. Now let's roll onto the meaty part of the glutes. Extend that leg out and in. So into your frog pumps, knees into that clamshell position, and then we kick out, keeping the heels glued together. Just a few more like that. In and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Let's maybe one more. Awesome. Keep the legs out. Take the top arm up, 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 roll, and then reach. Awesome. So again, you can come up out of that bottom elbow if you are so inclined, or you can stay into the bottom elbow to make it a little bit more accessible. Roll towards the belly and then roll towards that meaty part of the glutes. Lift, 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 and reach. Awesome. A few more. So good. Keep going. And done. Awesome. Let's flip it so we can stretch it. Take that top arm up and over, lengthening from your arm down to that outer hip. Such an amazing workout. All right, from here, we're going to move into all fours. So let's come down onto the hands. You can make a fist position if you need tension out of the wrist, or you can walk your hands just one step further forward. Tuck your tummy in and up. And then let's extend that back right leg, lifting it up and down. Good. Light outward turn of the toes. Squeezing into outer glutes, outer thigh. Keeping the belly up and in, bracing the core. And let's do 4 more like this. Lift and release. Good. That light pause at the top, making sure we feel everything we need to feel. And now let's change it up a little bit. On this next one, hold, cross over, and then bring the leg tap to the outer edge of the mat. Let's try to change our range of motion. So every time we tap out to the right, see if you can step the foot even further forward. Go ahead, tap outside, and then closer and closer to that right hand. Awesome. Tuck it in. Stretch your wrists or rotate through your wrists. Reset, and let's go to the other side. Left leg out, lift and lower. Up and down. Good. Core braced, arms nice and strong, elbow pit to the front of the room, elbow point to the back of the room. Shoulders spread across the back, so we are lifting our chest and our abs up and away from the floor. Just a few more of those leg lifts. And now we bring it up and over and to the side. Again, trying to change our range of motion, each one coming up a little bit closer to the left hand. Fantastic, almost there. And tuck it in. Taking it into your child's pose. Again, wrist stretch if you need it. And then slowly rise back up into all fours. We're going to drop into the elbows and then lift up. So we're kind of stimulating the backs of the arms. Triceps, chest, and front shoulders. Keep the abs tucked in. Eye gaze out over the front edge of the mat. Awesome. But I think we can do more. So let's take the hands one step further forward, coming into a kneeling plank. Revisiting, right leg comes out, lift up and down. So we're doing those same movements now from this kneeling plank position. Now, if you're like, this is not my cup of tea, you are welcome to revert back to your tabletop position and do those leg lifts for a second round. We're just upping the intensity. If you like, you have that option. Good. Now we're bringing the leg across and over. Good. Maybe trying to bring the foot a little bit further forward with each rep. Almost there. And done. Awesome. Take that child's pose stretch, fingertips down to tailbone. As you bring it up, let's go into the left side, abs braced, shoulders spread across the back, lift that left leg up and down, lift and lower, eye gaze lifted and forward, keeping the neck in a nice straight alignment, lift and lower. Almost. Now we bring the leg up and over. Good, so into that rainbow arc again, lifting over the bottom leg and then changing. So the toes are lifting up a little bit further forward with each rep. Changing our range of motion. Awesome, tuck it in. Stretch into our child's pose. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen from the fingertips all the way down to the tailbone. Yep, push-up time. Elbows tucked in, bring it down and up. Good, just a few more. Elbow pit to the front, elbow point to the back, working into the triceps, chest, and shoulders. Abs tucked in, shoulders spread across the back. So good. Ooh, circle those wrists. Because you know what? I think, yep, yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Yeah, let's bring the hands to the front. Let's bring the feet to the back, knees up off the mat. Yep, again, you have those options. So we're doing our leg pull. Right leg up and down, lift and lower. Let's go for 4 more of these. 4, 3, 2, 1. And, oh, let's do a few more. Yeah, why not? Because let's not do the up and over on this one. It is a lot to hold our body weight in this position. So we'll do a few extra of the leg lifts without doing the up and over. How's that sound for a deal? Awesome. Keep it up. Keep it up. Bring it down. Open, open, open. Let's stretch from fingertip to fingertip, lengthening along the chest, along the shoulders before we go into, you know it, the push-ups are coming. Tricep stretch as well. Yep. There it is, that wicked smile. All right, that means something good is coming. Let's creep our way back out to the front edge of the mat. Hands to the front, kneeling, or bring those knees up. Let's come down and up. Good, down to your range of motion. Down and up. Maybe 2 more. Yes, perfect. Awesome. Sit the heels and hips all the way back towards them. Arms out to the front, chest to the thighs. Breathe. And now let's take the hands out wide, go into outer thigh, outer glute, stretching in our pigeon pose, lengthening that outer thigh, that outer glute, getting a nice big stretch into the low back as well. Awesome. Hands surround the knee, lift up. Let's go reach out towards our outstretched leg. So if we have our left leg tucked in, we're reaching out towards the right. God, feel that stretch along the back of the thigh, into the glutes, into the lower back. So awesome. Good. Reach the top hand up and over. Good. So that left hand reaching over towards the right, lengthening from the hip up to the shoulder and then out to the fingertips. Bottoms of the feet come in together. Let's take the hands around the toes. Lots of leaves on my hands. Go ahead, drop your knees down towards the sides to your level of, I call it discomfort, because none of this is really comfortable. But we kind of try to push our limits and challenge ourselves, going a little bit more into our range of motion. Let's reverse those stretches. Do the same stretches on this side, but in the opposite order. So starting with gate pose, reaching across, up and over. Such an amazing way to end an amazing workout. So we have all of our strength, upper body, core, into the legs, stretching out through the hamstrings and glutes here, reaching out towards the toes. Body is angled down towards the thigh. Good. Now your hands might be reaching on your calf. They might be reaching on your thigh, and that is a-okay too. Good. Now let's take that left leg back behind us as we bring our right leg into pigeon. Hands surround the front leg. Let's recline that pigeon down towards the mat. With our trunk we go. Walk the hands back towards the knee. Lift up, lift up, lift up. Bringing the knees back behind you. Let's come into Sphinx. Elbows under shoulders. Lifting the chest kind of through the shoulders. Pulling the belly up and in. But lengthening from the rib cage down towards the hips. Let's take one hand towards opposite elbow. Tuck the heel in into either half bow pose or this half grasshopper, heel towards hip line. Good. As you release the leg, left hand crosses over to the right, right hand goes back and grabs the right foot, and we tuck it in towards the hip, or we just go back and try to reach for it. This is great if you have a strap. You can use a strap here around the foot, kind of pulling the foot in towards you, giving yourself kind of that working towards range of motion. Right, from here, let's lift up, kneeling or your favorite seated position. You're going to bring those hands all the way up to the sky because I think it's almost hug time. I think it is almost hug time because what an amazing workout. I appreciate you all going in for it today, and I hope you have an amazing day ahead of you. Thank you all. Take care, be well, and I will see you next time. Until then.